Writing a song is one thing, but putting words on paper and bringing them to life, making them breathe and grow, drawing you into their world, that's another talent altogether. Darden Smith has just such a talent.
Our next guest here, I believe, well represents a new breed of songwriters coming out of the Austin area, and I like them a whole lot myself. This is Darden Smith.
Thank you very much.
In 1986, a determined Darden Smith put out his own record entitled Native Soil on his own label, Ready Mix. And right from the beginning, it was clear he had something to say and knew just how to sing it.
Hold your head up and hold my hand. I will take you.
His personal style of songwriting and down-to-earth performances attracted a following among roots music fans and led to a recording contract with CBS. His following soon spread to the UK, where Nigel Grange of Ensign Records recognized Darden's special talents and invited him over to London to write songs with Boo Hewerdine of the group The Bible.
So we met over Chinese food, Boo and I did, in London, and we said, we just wrote a bunch of songs and got along real well. And so our whole relationship and working relationship is based around getting our record companies to pay for free trips for both us and our wives across the Atlantic. We don't really make much money in this business, but man, am I racking up the frequent flyer miles.
The songs Darden and Boo collaborated on worked out so well that they recorded them on Evidence, the 1989 release that attracted considerable critical praise and contributed to Darden's following among college and alternative music fans. Now, with Darden's writing and performing skills sharpened, he's widened his scope and created his Columbia debut album, Trouble No More, an album that erases the borders between folk, pop, and rock.
If you're gonna call me home, now's the time.
Trouble No More, we did half of the record out in L.A. with Pete Anderson producing, then we did the rest of it here in Austin with a guy named Martin Lassel's producing it. And a lot of the songs, they deal with sort of characters and people, a lot of people struggling to get over whatever life has heaped upon their plate that they haven't been able to swallow.
Well, I was 21, could barely shave, and I had a kid in a crib, another one on the way. I lie awake and listen for that midnight train. Sound like my little boy calling out your name.
Life is one big struggle, you know. It's not a piece of cake, and but it's not all bad. Just because you go through hard times doesn't mean that there's good times coming. Right? Through those hard times, you can find the most beautiful things.
Like the sound of a midnight train.
I remember this feeling of lying in bed when you're supposed to be asleep. You know you're supposed to be asleep, but every night there's a train that rolls by. It's really great to lay in bed till you hear the train, because you can hear it at night. It's real still, it's quiet. Some nights the wind wouldn't blow, or if the wind blew from the south, you could hear it really well, and you could hear it from a long way off. And I remember that feeling. I get chills just listening to that train.
Oh, the sun goes down out on my side of town. Your heartstrings come unwound. Do you hear that midnight train?
When I write songs, you know, you can tell when it's good because it moves me. I'm sitting in my little room writing, or wherever I am writing it. If it's one of those that really connects, I get these tingles up and down my spine, and you know, maybe brings tears to my eyes or something. Or my throat gets all tight, and I can tell that song really hit.
Like the sound of a midnight train. Something never changed.
I have this gift where I can put words and music together on little pieces of paper and call them songs and then sing them to people. I have this really good job where I get to go out and do this for a living, jump around, sing songs from the stage. And it's just something, these songs find me. I don't really write them. It's like they write themselves. And all I have to do is just sit there and let it happen.
Frankie went to China looking for a girl. Frankie didn't mind taking the time to travel halfway around the world. Frankie had to find her, even if it meant China. So Frankie went to China looking for a girl, looking for a girl.
Funny thing about this business, it's gotten very technical, and like Duke Ellington, he didn't even read music and stuff. And you listen to Duke Ellington records or old rock and roll records, there's all kinds of mistakes on them and stuff. And I mean, the Beatles records, those things are full of mistakes, and nobody told them they were wrong. And so I think the worst part about making records is when you know something's right, it has a magic to it. It might be a little sharp or a little flat, or yeah, okay, well the harmony's a little weird and everybody's singing the same note, or something like that, or yeah, well we know that the bass player was a little late there, or the drummer was a little fast. It's music, and that's what's the worst part is when you get it right and someone comes in and tells you it's technically wrong. We should change it. I come from a real kind of it's sort of an ethic of storytelling. It's kind of the songs that I grew up listening to and really liking, and so I bring that when I write a song. There's a story to it. There's some sort of character.
Susie said, Frankie, I'm really touched. I always figured that you loved me, but I just couldn't figure out how much. And if you really mean what you say, I'll come back with you to the USA. Oh, Frankie, I'm really touched.
Yeah, I combine some personal things. I mean, all this stuff is very, it's me, but a lot of it's people that I know. I'm basically a leech with friends and people I'm around. My friends find themselves in my songs quite a bit, which really sort of pisses them off. But that's what you get for being friends with me in the first place. At some point, you just have to realize that everybody's got an opinion, and the longer you go through life, the more people you have to deal with. There's always going to be somebody with an opinion about what you're supposed to be doing, whether it's your mother or your wife or your kids or whatever, or your boss or whatever. And yeah, they might be right in some ways, but what you really have to listen to is what's coming down from inside you. Because if you're not following your voice, there's this little man that lives in the back of your head, lives right back here, and he always tells you, if you come to a crossroads, he always tells you what's right and wrong. I mean, it's really basic.
I'm talking to myself. I've learned to like the way that sounds.